Hey guys, Jacob here. It is the 25th of January 2022. This is going to be this week's vendor reset. At the front desk this week, the named item they're selling is the Mozambique Special. This is the named 1911 that has perfect bread basket. If you guys are a big collector of the named items, especially if you're new, trying to collect all of them, I would highly recommend picking this up. And the next item is going to be the max weapon handling if you guys need that for your backpacks. But if you guys need any other of these items, I would recommend picking them up. Now if you go over here, under the helipad, you'll see the doors that are open right here, the double white doors, and you'll see the sign that says Clan Quarters. And you'll enter right here. Shout out to Disciples of Doom and Kamikaze Von Doom. And this is the Clan Quarters. This week they're selling the Sacrifice. I know a lot of new players and people in general have been having hard times finding the perfect roll for this. Obviously this one is not your triple stat one for reds that a lot of people want. But if you don't have it, you definitely can get rid of skill haste, throw critical hit chance on there, critical hit damage, and then throw a critical hit damage mod, and you can make this one work for what you have. And due to the fact this one has weapon damage on it that's max, you can use that for your stat library also. The next max item is going to be this enhanced AUG that has max SMG, and same goes for the SMG9. So if you want max SMG damage, now's the chance to get it and add it to your library. But other than that, they are selling pretty decent Fenris gloves. If you guys are looking for Fenris gloves that are almost max hazard and almost max weapon damage, I would highly recommend picking these ones up because me personally, I'm going to be picking them up as well. But that's going to be about it for the front desk vendor and the clan vendor. The next vendor is going to be over at the theater settlement. That's going to be on the right side of the map, right over here. And then after that will be the campus settlement, which will be our next vendor. And this week, they're selling the Fox's Prayer knee pads. If you guys don't have these, especially if you are new or looking for ones that have pretty much triple stat red on them, it's 9.9, almost 10%. I know some people are wanting critical hit damage. If these were damage to targets out of cover and critical hit damage, you could put a yellow, a blue, have the red max out to, insane, high weapon damage. But obviously, the headshot damage is 9.9, but you can max this out to 15% weapon, have the max damage charts off cover, and then optimize the 9.9%, and you have triple stat red knee pads. Obviously, like I said, they're not critical, but especially if you're new, I would definitely recommend picking these up. And especially if you're needing high weapon damage for your gloves, or the library that is, for 15%, and you're down to like 8 or 9, you might want to pick these up for your library so you can max out your weapon damage on your gloves. But other than that, that's going to be about it for the theater settlement. The next settlement, which is currently invaded, is going to be the campus settlement, which is going to be located on the left side of the map, which is on the left side of the base of ops. Now this vendor is right down here to the left of the tree. And you guys will see her right here at the vendor. And this week she's selling the Darkness, which has max rifle damage, and this is the named sniper rifle that has perfect eyeless. So if you guys are looking for this or collecting all the named items, I would recommend picking it up. But other than that, that's all she's really selling. Unless you guys need any of the other items, I would recommend picking them up. The first DZ on the list is going to be the DZ West main entrance. Keep this in mind, if you guys are buying anything from these vendors, you will have to get the DZ resources, which you can get by extracting gear from the DZ and then having it thrown into your stash. Make sure you deconstruct the gear as well before you extract. So if you deconstruct 5-6 items, it'll turn it into resources, throw it in your contamination bag, extract it, and you're good to go. Or you can open little tiny boxes scattered around the DZ and get them one at a time that way. This week there's some of the backup boomstick. This is the named shotgun. Like I said, if you're trying to collect all the named items, would recommend picking this up. Other than that, they are selling a few items you guys might be able to use, but that's really going to be about it for DZ West. Next is going to be DZ South main entrance. And then we'll be going over to DZ East, which will be the final vendor in DC. Just go up to the stairs and to the left, you'll see her sitting right here. This week she's not selling pretty much anything in my opinion that's worth picking up. She is selling the door kicker chest piece for Sombra if you guys need that for perfect spark. She's also selling a Vector. I know some people are looking for one of those. Sadly, it doesn't have damage hearts off cover on it, and the SMG damage is pretty low. But if you guys need any of these items, she is selling max explosive if you guys need that as well for your stat library, but nothing really too crazy. And I know explosive resistance some people use, some people don't. I know the things some people are mixed about in this game, but if you're trying to collect all the stuff that's pretty much max and you don't have it, definitely worth picking up, especially if you're having trouble trying to find it. But that's going to be about it for DZ South. Next up is going to be DZ East, like I said, and this will be the final stop for DC. Then we're going to be going to Haven in New York City. And this vendor is just straight ahead. It does take a minute to get over here because this is the longest run for the entrances. To run all the way up here and take a right as soon as you get up the stairwell. And she's right here. And this week she's selling max swap speeds for snipers, and also we have the White Death for sale if you guys are looking for that. But other than that, that's going to be about it for the vendors in DC and also the DC vendors as well. Now we're going to be off to New York City in Haven. Which Haven is the only place that actually sells stuff for some reason. I'm not sure why. They never put any more vendors in New York. I thought they'd at least put 3 total. But we only have 2, and they're located pretty much in the same place. And at the moment, as of this update, when you guys are watching this, they do not sell any named gear. They do pretty much just sell all your standard equipment, all yellow stuff. But that's really about it. If you guys are trying to make a crit build, especially if you're new, just trying to find pieces, you could make these gloves work if you're just trying to make something in the meantime until you find better pieces. Now if you take a left through here to the atrium, take a right when you go to the green tent, another right, and straight ahead past the dog. Roy Benitez will be right here. And this week he's selling your standard stuff, the named items, or no named items, that is, my bad, and that's pretty much it. These 2 vendors, in my opinion, need to be buffed. I feel like they never sell anything good, but maybe that's just me. Every vendor I feel like I've gone to in New York just sells absolute trash. I think they sell one item here and there, or at least make it where they sell named items, so that way we can at least look forward for something potentially being for sale. But maybe in the future they will fix that.